From the European Crafts Alliance, this is Craft Matters, the podcast that explores craft, the artistry, the industry, and the soul of making. And now, here's your host, Adriana.
I'm Irene Kernan. I'm from Scotland.
Xavier Long from France.
Elton Mikalnes. I am from Malta.
My name is Andrea Orelova from Slovakia.
Marianne Kasamba
From the German Craft Association.
Ana Cristina Mendes. I'm from Portugal.
Monika Osinkowska. I'm from Poland.
David Places. I'm from Barcelona, Spain, promoting Catalan crafts.
Jimmy Coleman. I am from the island Bornholm in Denmark.
My name is Vanda Ilés. I am from Hungary.
Kati Sekirnik. I'm from Slovenia.
I'm Marka Dvalishvili. I'm from Georgia.
Costanza Materassi. I'm from Italy.
Across Europe, crafts are supported, founded, and discussed at many levels. But before we can talk about their future, there is a more simple question. Do we actually mean the same thing when we say crafts? Because if the definition shifts from country to country, then so do the expectations and values, as well as the way crafts and craftspeople are supported. We asked craftspeople and advocates from across Europe a simple question. What is craft in your language?
The word for craft in Italian is artigianato artistico e tradizionale, and it means what you made by your hand.
In Estonian, craftsmanship is Käsitöö, which actually means work by hand. If we talk about Switzerland, the French parts, it would be l'artisanat, which just directly translates to craftsmanship.
The name is Kunsthåndverk, and it means the art of the hands work.
Kunsthåndverk. It means art made by your hands.
In Georgian, it is Mkhatvruli. It means this artistic enterprise.
The word of craft in Spain is Artesanía. And for me, it's the way you make things with your mind, with your hands, with your heart.
So the word is Kunsthåndverk, which is one word. So Kunst means art and Håndverk means handwork.
Creatieve ambachten, and it means that you are a creative person and you are skilled in a certain technique.
In Maltese, craft is artigianat, which means something which in majority is done by hand.
In Polish, the word for craft is Rzemiosło. Literally, it means something made by hand with knowledge and skill. The word sounds similar in many Slavic languages, which shows that it is very old and deeply rooted in the region.
In Hungarian language, crafts is kézművesség, which literally means the making of objects by hand.
Pyrotechnia in Greek is somebody that is working with their hands and with some very simple tools and materials.
The word for craft in Slovak language is the word Rzemiosło. And we mean, when we say this word, that this is something what we made with our hands.
In Slovene, we use word Rokodelstvo for the crafts. It literally means handmade or making with hands.
The Portuguese word is artesanato. It's an art that was born with you.
The word in my language is Kunsthåndverk, and this combines in a very fantastic way art, which means Kunst, with Handwerk, which means the things which are done by hand.
The word for craft is, I think, it literally means someone who makes something by hand and has the skill and knowledge to actually create something recognizable.
Sometimes the term artisan is considered as not negative, but is not rewarding enough. So professionals like to use métier d'art, imitating France, or professionals in métier du patrimoine.
In Italy, we are saying the word artigianato. That is a word that is really connected and linked with the word art.
Kunsthåndverk. It means art and crafts.
In France, we are more talking about artisanat d'art, which means artistic crafts or fine crafts. And the Savoir-faire Institute, we also speak about savoir-faire d'exception, which is exceptional how.
Depending on where you are, that meaning shapes how a craftsperson is seen.
Normally, it is associated with a traditional tradesperson.
I think that the first, what comes to the mind of the people is the broker, tradesman.
Recently, some local manufacturers have also been identifying themselves as craftspeople. For example, those who are producing honey, syrups, cheese, and also sometimes traditional blue-collar tradespeople like nail techniques or barbers call themselves as craftspeople.
I'm an artist. I'm more artist than artisan.
If you say Kunsthåndverk, but mostly in the art field, you will be considered an artist.
The French people told us that they are both seeing artistic craftsmen as whether luxury industry members or heritage, innovation and professionals.
Depending on what people want others to understand. There are those who are artisans because they have the experience. Then there are the others who are just doing this as a hobby, but they love to be artisans as well. And then there are those that prefer to be called artists. It's diverse.
It really depends who do you ask. But I would say that still most of the people see a traditional heritage worker. But I think this image is changing in the last years due to many efforts, initiatives, and young people involvement to change this stereotype.
The image of crafts people in Poland is shifting. A decade ago, they were seen more as workers than as artists. Today, this perception is changing. There is more and more interest in artisanal production. The word craft is very in fashion. It means authenticity, creativity, and quality.
But we have to remember that in the ancient Greek, techne was the same word for artisans and artists. So if we keep this as a reference, maybe we can just call everybody artisan.
So the meaning is not fixed. It depends on context. But when we move from definition to reality, something interesting happens. The threats to crafts begin to sound very similar.
The young people, they are not having enough places anymore to make an education. For example, as a goldsmith or a ceramist, all these schools, they're going to close.
I think it's education and transmissions of skills, the lack of education.
The biggest threat to craft in Poland is the loss of knowledge transfer between generations. Today, there is a limited professional education and there is not enough system support for teaching people how to work with the hands.
The biggest threat is lack of educational or training programs to transfer craft skills and knowledge. Usually they happen in the field of informal education. It's not strategically organized and is absent from formal curriculums.
I think the aging people are not transferring the know-how into the younger generation because they think that it's not fashionable and it's not modern and they don't get enough money out of it.
To get enough to price your pieces, to get enough paid for what you actually do.
I guess that this is the problem of the weak purchase power. So I mean that the people are not buying the products, the artworks of the craftsmen, which of course are much more expensive than the items in series from containers from Eastern countries.
I think collecting the data of the professional sector, because especially in Spain, the crafts are a competence that is delegated to the different regions, and we need to cross our data to have the real picture.
If we don't have new artisans, if we don't have artisans for the future, we won't be having
crafts in the future?
Crafts are evaluated from an economical perspective by decision makers, while the cultural value preservation aspect is neglected.
The threat is that there is no unified regulation, no statistical framework, no consolidation of data, and not enough engagement of European institutions for the revitalization of the sector.
And yet, across all these borders, languages, and challenges, there is a very clear connection between crafts.
Creativity and also taking care of the huge heritage that we have in Europe.
I think in Europe we are very lucky that we are incredibly multicultural. And I think that diversity is the biggest strength that we have. Everyone will find their own place.
What connects them all is culture. I think all crafts have an origin in the culture of the country.
We celebrate similar events that are linked to the traditions of year's festivities and the rites of passage in human life. So the traditional material culture related to these is also similar.
But I'm crafting with the hands of a person that came before than me 100 years before, and I'm just adding a little step.
This thread that links past, present, and future, that links memory, identity, creativity, or originality.
I think it's their deep devotion and necessity to create, to explore materials and techniques, and to create tangible results of their work.
I think what all craft and craftspeople have in common is care, in very broad meaning of this word. Craftspeople share responsibility for materials and the environment, care for the process and for tradition, and care for the quality of relationship with the people for whom they create.
Quality, something beautiful made by your hands, unique pieces, craft.
I think the soul, the passion that when we made it, the soul, the passion, I think is the same, no? In all the world.
What connect is the beauty, the power of the hands and the heart and the head.
Yeah, I mean, it's the feeling for the work with the hand, the work with the head. We are feeling like one family who are really all doing something genuine together.
Crafts carry differing meanings depending on where you stand, but across languages and borders, something remains shared. A way of working with the hands, with materials, with knowledge, and with time. Perhaps crafts resist a single definition, but that does not make them unclear. It makes them complex, and complexity still needs to be understood.
You've been listening to Craft Matters, brought to you by the European Crafts Alliance. This podcast is part of the CraftsNet project, co-funded by the European Union. New episodes drop on the last Wednesday of every month. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite platform. Follow us on social media or subscribe to our newsletter at europeancraftsalliance.org. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.